but just when I thought I was all wired up, I had to be rewired. Start again. It's the only time in the whole history of the seminar giving that I've ever given that I've had to be turned on by a man. Don't tell anybody that. How many people have heard me speak before? Raise your hands. Great, fantastic. How many people have not? Raise your hands. That would be the rest of you. Fantastic. You're gonna get a treat today. I'm gonna try and teach you as much as I can. My name is Gill, Dr. Mel Gill. I'm a psychologist, and I have friends here in a place called Tanjung Rambutan. That's the mental hospital for those of you who are not familiar. And the friend in Tanjung Rambutan believes, as I do, that most mentally ill people do not belong in an institution. They belong out there in the world so that they can adapt. And we, unfortunately, have to meet most of them every day. In fact, he, one day, picked out 3 people, and he said to them, if you answer this simple question, I will let you go. So he asked the first person, what is 3 times 3? The fellow scratched his head, looked at the doctor, and he said, 164. Sorry, go back to your room. So he asked the second person, what is 3 times 3? The fellow scratched his head and he said, Tuesday. Sorry, go back to your room. Now, my friend the doctor almost gave up until he came to the last person and he said, young man, if you can answer this simple question, I will let you go. What is 3 times 3? The fellow looked at the other 2, smiled at the doctor, and he said, 9. The doctor was so happy, gave him the forms, he ran with the forms to the door, but before he reached the door, the doctor said, young man, hang on for just a second, I just want to know something. How is it that your 2 friends could not come up with the right answer, and you managed to come up with the right answer? He said, doctor, it's so simple. I multiplied 164 by Tuesday, and I got 9. So sometimes we come upon the answers in life, but by accident. Sometimes we come upon our careers by accident. Sometimes we come upon the things that we want to do finally. Success, we call it money, we call it love, we call it wealth, we call it all kinds of things. And we do it by accident, but not by choice. Now here's the bad news. Most psychologists like me believe that 90% of the world's population suffers from one kind of mental illness or another. We call this loose class of mental illness schizophrenia, which is basically like saying the common cold. Schizophrenia is the inability to tell what is real from what is imagined, what is fantasy from what is reality. Example, you walk into a room, people are talking, and all of a sudden as you walk into the room, they stop talking. So a thought enters your brain and says, maybe they're talking about me. That's called paranoia, and it's normal, it's natural. When you walk out of the room, they continue talking, and now you are sure they're talking about you, and you plot revenge. That's extreme, and that's Tanjung Rambutan material. And that's where I step in to help you. Now, in Malaysia, I think the statistics is a bit different. They say 1 out of 4 people are mentally ill. I want you to think of 3 of your closest friends. Form an image right now. If they are all normal, then you are the one. Have we evolved? We are told that we started hunchback apes and started to become the naked apes. Except that the way we worked so far and how hard we're working every day, we might as well be the knackered ape. We're so tired at the end of the day. Have we evolved? I wonder.